Hi, this is Andrew Davey at Nevada Forward, and we're here with Professor Francine Lipman from the UNLV Boyd School of Law. Thanks for joining us.
It's a pleasure to be here.
So, just moments ago, you and a few other community leaders were talking about this tax plan. Let's call it the Trump tax plan. A version of it has already passed the House. And now the Senate may be days or even hours away from a floor vote on its version. So what do you see at stake with this? With particularly now that the Senate may hold a floor vote on its version of this bill?
Unfortunately, there's a lot at stake, and I guess as a tax academic who's been studying the tax code for decades, what I think about is our children, because the tax cuts in these bills are trillions and trillions of dollars. And the trillions of dollars go right on top of our enormous deficit. They're not even counting interest expense on this. And so as we move forward and we think about needs for children, CHIP hasn't been extended, healthcare benefits, and the tsunami of seniors that are needing Social Security and Medicare, where is it going to come from? Well, what will happen is there will be cuts. We're all anticipating that there will be cuts to pay for this, on top of the fact that Medicare is being decreased through this bill, and about 13 million families are going to lose health care subsidies. What that does, if you eliminate the individual mandate, right now everyone has to have health care unless you have a hardship excuse. That allows the pool to have healthy people and sick people. Because if you don't have a mandate, what is everyone going to naturally do? You're going to get your insurance right before when? Your surgery. Well, what does that do to insurance costs? It drives them way up. Justice Roberts of the Supreme Court has a wonderful opinion when he said that the individual mandate was a constitutional tax. He says you need all three of these things. If you're going to have no pricing for pre-existing conditions, then you have to have everybody in the pool. Otherwise, people will self-select. So everybody's got to be in the pool with a mandate, and then you've got to subsidize low-income families that can't afford it. We're doing that, and guess what? It's working. It's really working in Nevada. Nevada has seen more families get health insurance than almost any state. And what has that done? That has decreased poverty for us in this state. We're moving forward. If we pull that out, not only will these families not have the insurance, but all of our insurance rates will increase. They've estimated a 10% increase across the board. So we need to think critically about any tax changes and not shove it through at the last minute so that in the secrecy, in the dark of the night, the top 1% can get in a state tax repeal. That is immediately in both of the bills a $4.4 million windfall to the highest worth families. In addition, the alternative minimum tax is being repealed. That's incredibly expensive. That is a tax that ensures that high-income individuals pay some tax. That, by the way, is the tax, 85% of the tax, on the one tax return we have for President Trump. That's being repealed. In addition, pass-through income is being taxed at a much lower rate than the higher ordinary income tax rates, 25% versus 39.6%. That benefits individuals who can artfully manipulate their income, not wage earners like us. Those are windfalls that somebody's got to pay for. And unfortunately, the people who are paying for it are the middle income and low income working families with children. Why? The child tax credit is being doubled in one bill and 50% increase in the other. However, it's not refundable. It's not refundable, so that means lower income families and middle income families with lots of children are not going to get that benefit. It is a stealth increase that is not an increase. And guess what? That benefit has historically been phased out for higher income individuals. So Bill Gates didn't get that benefit. Well, guess what? They've increased the threshold to $500,000. So it's not even going to start to phase out until you have $500,000 of adjusted gross income.
Now, I want to get back to the pass-through tax. A group of Republican senators this week have been arguing for a more robust cut in the pass-through tax, saying that this will help small businesses. So why do you think they're wrong in their assessment?
The wonderful thing about having 50 states plus the District of Columbia is we have a living laboratory of all the tax systems that work and don't work. The state of Kansas tried this exact same thing. What they did was they eliminated the tax on pass-through business income. Guess what? It virtually bankrupted the state. Voters, Kansas is a traditionally Republican state, voters voted to increase the taxes because their schools were suffering. They were having to shut down their public schools because they weren't funded. It bankrupted roads and streets and maintenance. So we have a vivid example of it not working.
So, are you concerned that something akin to what's happened in Kansas could happen at the federal level if this happens? One thing that I've noticed and others have noticed is that if this tax plan were to become law, that there would be some automatic budget cuts that would come into place just if it were to become law because of some past laws that Congress agreed to try to keep the federal budget within certain constraints.
Yes, so there are trigger rules that if there's not enough revenue, you can't modify the individual income tax. And so as a result, what is also happening in this bill, kind of interesting, is business tax, corporate taxation rates are dropping. As a result, the government seems to indicate in its scoring that some of that is going to trickle to the workers. Businesses have said pretty emphatically they're going to allocate that savings in taxes to shareholders. Who are shareholders? Typically very high net worth, high income individuals. What is terribly frightening about this bill as well is that on a going forward basis, where's the money going to come from? Entitlements. Speaker Ryan has already said they're going to review entitlements. The biggest entitlement that we have is Social Security. Social Security and Medicare. There are seniors every day turning full retirement age and collecting on monies they've paid in for decades. That benefit could be retroactively decreased. We can't do that to our seniors. They have earned this by toiling, literally, in the casinos, in the businesses, in our homes. They're hardworking, and we shouldn't allow high-income individuals who can artfully manipulate their income to have the income be a pass-through as compared to wages. Individuals who are workers across Nevada, employees, they can't say, hey, casino, don't pay me as an employee, pay me as a pass-through income. You can't do that. However, high net worth, high income individuals can artfully manipulate their income to get that benefit.
And finally, on that note, President Donald Trump has framed this as a middle-class tax cut. If it becomes law, it will turbocharge our economy, will hit his goal of 4% annual GDP growth. again, this has been framed by the White House and Republican leaders as a jobs bill. That it's even in the title. So why are they wrong? Why wouldn't this stimulate the economy?
Well, here's an interesting observation. Right now on businesses, the federal government taxes worldwide income of businesses, of U.S. trades or businesses. This bill will change that, so it will be territorial. So let's suppose a business has creates a subsidy or creates a corporation in a foreign country. Territorial taxation will not tax that. So as a result, what's going to happen to jobs? They're going to go offshore. So this actually could be a job reduction bill for the U.S. because many businesses are going to race to the bottom. So they will go offshore and send the jobs offshore so that they can get the advantage of another country's low tax rate. It's a race to the bottom. We don't want to be a 0% rate because the burden then will fall on individuals, and individuals are already taxed out.